Hello, everyone. I am Kariyma King. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining me as I present my capstone project, examining the psychological impact of social media on adolescent self-esteem. It is during adolescence that social feedback has been critical in shaping the identity of a young person. And the most prevalent method of seeking and receiving social input in the modern era has been social media. Being much on the internet, the adolescents get their emotional experience significantly influenced by the media they watch and the communication they can observe. In this presentation, we will analyze the reasons why the influence of social media can be so powerful on the self-esteem of adolescents and why the psychological theories can be applied to understand these trends, why adolescents are particularly vulnerable to the effect, and how such experiences result in the new mental health problems of our days. Social comparison theory is an occurrence that is performing well in the digital realm, explaining why adolescents are so prone to such influences and how such experiences give rise to the new mental health problems of our age. The purpose of doing this is to study such dynamics and focus on evidence-based solutions. Social comparison theory. The social comparison theory is the key to explaining the high influence of social media on the self-esteem aspect of adolescence. Festinger claimed that one of the human inclinations is to compare himself or herself to others, which is the means through which he or she views one's personal capacities and self-esteem. However, with the help of social media, this phenomenon is only intensified because such teenagers can be exposed to significantly edited photos and dreamy lives. When it comes to upward comparison, comparing them with other teens or influencers who are considered more attractive as well as more successful or more popular, they would feel less valued or incompetent. The comparisons made downwards never occur much online, as online portraits hardly ever show a person in a disadvantageous or humiliating situation. This imbalance would result in the adolescents having a distorted perception of normalcy or attainable things. This notion can be applied to explain why online spaces can have such an impact on the notion of the self. Digital amplification of social comparison. Social media provides endless opportunities for adolescents to compare themselves to idealized images. Platforms encourage users to present only their most attractive or successful moments. The constant visibility of peers' achievements and appearance increases upward comparison. Algorithms prioritize content that receives high engagement, often reinforcing unrealistic standards. These digital features intensify self evaluations and increase vulnerability to negative emotions. Research on comparison and self esteem. Studies consistently show that frequent social media comparison lowers adolescent self esteem. Upward comparisons on platforms like Instagram predict body dissatisfaction. Adolescents who compare themselves to peers experience increased symptoms of depression. Online feedback, such as likes, shapes self worth and reinforces comparison cycles. These findings highlight the substantial psychological impact of digital social evaluation. Adolescence at a sensitive stage. Adolescence is a highly sensitive age of human affairs. So the young population is prone to the emotional impact of social media. This is when young people experience tremendous identity, social role, and physical appearance changes. Peer acceptance is increasingly becoming prominent, and peer socialization is what teenagers are inclined to believe in order to verify their new identity. The emotional responses to the perceived rejection, criticism, or social comparison are sharper in adolescence because of the absence of the development of the ability to control the emotional responses. The edited image on the internet and the real life experience are also harder to discern because of their constant cognitive growth. As a result, adolescents are easily convinced to go by the values of beauty or lifestyles, which are unattainable. It is these qualities of development that lead to the duplicate content of social media that might seem harmless to adults but have such drastic effects on the self esteem of teens. Adolescent social media use patterns. This has been deeply ingrained in the lives of adolescents on social media. Most of the teenagers will wake up and see their phones, and when they are awake, they can visit the same platform more than once a day. The majority of social applications encourage continuous consumption since they can be described by infinite scrolling, continuous notifications, and recommendations provided by artificial intelligence solutions. The posts that occur in these sites can be described as very visual, and it is only natural that they make people compare themselves based on their appearance and lifestyle. The vast amount of time teenagers spend watching and posting on these posts presents them with the refined and enhanced postings. High engagement suggests that social media becomes a significant location of social commentary which might dictate the manner in which adolescents feel regarding themselves as well as how they see their personal self essentials. The more time they are on the internet, the greater the influence. Cultural and gender influences on comparison. Cultural expectations strongly shape the types of comparisons adolescents make on social media. Adolescent girls experience higher pressure to conform to beauty standards promoted online. Adolescent boys engage more frequently in comparisons related to success, fitness, or popularity. Cultural norms influence how adolescents interpret validation, cues such as likes and comments. Social media often reinforces culturally preferred ideals that increase pressure and self doubt. Social problem: declining adolescent mental health. Rates of depression and anxiety among adolescents have increased significantly since 2012. This rise has been linked to increased social media use among youth. Many adolescents report decreased life satisfaction compared to previous generations. Constant exposure to comparison based content contributes to emotional vulnerability. The mental health decline has become a significant concern for schools, families, and clinicians. Emotional effects of social media comparison. Social media has well developed and widespread emotional effects compared to other social media. The fantasy images evoke the feeling of uncertainty or inadequacy among most adolescents. Hence, their emergence of low self esteem. The insufficiency leads to FOMO, aka fear of missing out, which consequently makes the adolescents feel excluded on the assumption that their peers are having a better or more exciting life. The emotional status is also affected adversely by negative remarks and cyberbullying, and contributes to anxiety and depression. There is also the issue of emotional dependency. The teenagers can roam feeling miserable or being rejected when the internet interaction is not as high as necessary. There is a set of all these emotional responses that result in a stress cycle, insecurity, and reduced self confidence. The long run patterns can be highly harmful to the psychological condition and cause an opportunity to overcome mental problems in the future. Social psychology contributions. Social psychology provides one with an excellent insight into why teenagers behave in a specific manner on social networks and why comparison is so important to them. The situation was made worse by the fact that teens are highly prone to their peer effect, which is aggravated by social platforms that teenagers use to keep track of their peers. This in turn causes various teenagers to struggle to bring self presentation to proximity by the online scenarios to what they believe is socially acceptable or admired. Social rewards, such as likes, positive feedback, which signify approval, increase such behaviors. There is also a group norm that shapes the way adolescents view themselves in peer groups, therefore, becoming more rejected or accepted. Another reason why the comparative process, stress, and vulnerable emotions continue to take place is the assumption that they should maintain a specific internet identity. Research findings in social psychology. Studies show that digital feedback activates the same reward systems as real life social approval. Adolescents who seek frequent social feedback report lower self esteem. Online popularity metrics can predict depressive symptoms in teens. Peer evaluation online increases pressure to conform to unrealistic standards. Comparison based engagement worsens mood and confidence. Social psychology remedies. Social psychology encourages promoting healthier online norms to reduce harmful comparisons. Peer led programs can help adolescents model more realistic self presentation online. Teaching adolescents how algorithms influence their exposure empowers them to make informed choices. Encouraging supportive peer interactions can help reduce feelings or exclusion or inadequacy. Norm based interventions can shift group perceptions about what is acceptable online behavior. Developmental psychology. Developmental psychology explains how cognitive and emotional immaturity increases vulnerability online. Adolescents' ongoing identity formation makes them sensitive to external evaluation. Teens are still developing emotional regulation skills, which intensify reactions to comparison. Parent and peer relationships strongly shape online behaviors and self perception. Developmental stages influence how adolescents interpret social rewards and rejection. Developmental psychology research. Research shows that adolescents internalize online beauty and lifestyle ideals more easily than adults. Early exposure to curated content affects identity formation. Parental involvement reduces the adverse psychological efforts of comparison based platforms. Emotionally sensitive adolescents experience strongest self esteem declines after upward comparison. Developmental research highlights the lasting impact of early digital experiences. Developmental psychology remedies. Media literacy training teaches adolescents how to evaluate online content critically. Parental guidance can buffer harmful effects by providing emotional support. Teaching emotional regulation skills help reduce distress caused by comparison. Setting limits on screen time encourages healthier digital habits. Encouraging identity exploration outside social media builds resilience. Health psychology. Health psychology explores how social media habits influence emotional and physical well being. Stress responses increase when adolescents experience comparison based pressure. Poor sleep habits often develop due to nighttime scrolling. Cognitive distortions arise when teens internalize unrealistic ideals. Health psychology emphasizes coping strategies to improve resilience and emotional health. Health psychology research findings. Research links heavy social media use with increased stress and emotional exhaustion in adolescents. Nighttime phone use contributes to sleep disturbance and reduced emotional resilience. Adolescents who engage in comparison based scrolling show higher levels of anxiety. Cognitive distortions worsen when teens consume idealized images repeatedly. Health psychology research highlights how emotional strain from online comparison affects physical health. Health psychology remedies. Cognitive behavioral strategies help adolescents challenge negative thoughts generated by social comparison. Mindfulness practices reduce emotional reactivity to idealized online content. Promoting healthier sleep routines reduces stress and improves emotional functioning. Teaching coping skills increases resilience and reduces vulnerability to online pressure. Encouraging balanced digital routines improves mental and physical well being. Course theme integration. This will be the last slide on my PowerPoint presentation. So, this project demonstrates how psychology can be applied to contemporary real world social issues. The digital environment represents a modern context where psychological theories have direct relevance. Research from multiple subdisciplines have explained the complex relationship between social media and identity. The course theme emphasizes using psychological science to promote well being and prevent harm. Applying psychological research supports the development of effective interventions for adolescents. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Have a great day.